Hey there, I'm Sam, and this is Francis. Sorry if we seem a little nervous, it's kind of our first time making a YouTube video, so we're feeling a little bit like a fish out of water. Anyway, this is not about us, it's about you. Now, I have a feeling that you might be in your fantasy era. You've picked up our reading journal, the one with the dragons, and now you're wondering, how the heck should I use this thing? Well, then this video is for you. We're rolling out the red carpet and giving you the VIP tour. But if that's not you and somehow you've just stumbled upon us, then I think the YouTube algorithm gods really love you. Yeah, they want you to win in life, and we do too. So, we hope that you stick around, and without further rambling, let's get into it. Once upon a time, I created this reading journal. It's an interactive PDF to be used on your iPad or similar tablet, with an Apple Pencil or similar stylus. You use the reading journal with a note-taking app such as GoodNotes. Imagine this journal as your badass sidekick to all your reading adventures, helping you to feel organized, motivated, and inspired as you explore the bookish universe. In this video, we'll take you through all the key pages, show some examples of how to use them, and drop some magical gems. So by the end, you should have a pretty good idea of how you can use your journal in the best way possible. Today, I'll be using the purple color reading journal with the GoodNotes app to show you around. Don't worry if you got the journal in another color, the contents of the journals are the same. Let's begin with the cover. This cover is my favorite one out of the 5. I call this the whimsical one. It kind of gives me Howl's Moving Castle vibes. But if this doesn't match your vibe, no worries, you can switch it up with any of the other 4. There's also Dragon Tales, Pattern Pop, Storybook Hero, and Bookish. Next, we have this little page with a cool dragon to get you excited as you embark on your adventures. This journal belongs to you, so write your name down, or maybe you want to use an alter ego. And you'll notice these tabs on the side, they'll be on every page except for the cover. You can use them to navigate, so tap on them to jump to the different sections. Ladies and germs, the doodle map. It's hands down my favorite page of the entire journal. I really wanted to put a map in this, like you know how all the best fantasy books have maps in them. So I did. I spent countless nights, sacrificed a bit too much sleep, but I think it's worth it. And I'm so proud. Now, I doodled this by hand, and I know I'm not a professional artist, so sure, it might not belong in an art gallery, but it definitely belongs in your journal, because it's so darn cute, and it looks like something that maybe you could have drawn yourself. It's achievable art. That's right, so this doodle goes out to the people who want to be artists but feel like they have 0 artistic bones in their body. I see you. I got you. Now, this map is 3 things. It's an index page, so you can see all the contents in the journal at a glance. And it's a navigation page. You can tap on these links to teleport to different sections and pages. Lastly, it's also a little coloring page. I like to use a highlighter on GoodNotes and start coloring it in. It's very forgiving, so I don't care too much if it goes outside of the lines. And you might end up with something that looks like this. Or maybe this. Ooh, dragon egg. Moving on to the About Me section, which, let's be clear, is about you, not me. There are 5 spreads in this section. Now, most of the sections start with a menu page that looks something like this, where you can tap on these words. These are hyperlinks to jump directly to the pages you want to go. The first spread in this section is My Info, and here you can set your intentions for the journal. I think it's pretty important to start with your why and get clear on your purpose for keeping the journal. You can also fill in details about your reading taste and preferences, and write down what your ratings mean, like what does a 1 spice rating mean to you, and then what makes it a 5. Well, I'll let you figure that one out. And here are journaling prompts. These are some of life's greatest questions you must ask yourself at least once in your life, such as, what's your biggest bookish pet peeve? Next, you can use this bookshelf to keep track of the books you've read, or maybe just build your dream bookshelf of all the books you want to read or physically own. It's up to you. There are 100 books on this shelf, and when you complete it, this is what it could look like. See any of your favorites? On this spread, you can set your reading goal in terms of the number of books you want to read. The timeline is up to you. It could be by December or till the end of time. The number of books could be anywhere from 1 to 200. I mean, it could be 20. I think that's what I'd be happy with. And then I'll color in the books until I reach my goal so I can celebrate with a watermelon margarita. I know there are people out there who can read 200 books in 1 year. Great for them, but how? Like, seriously. And here are the reading goals in a list, because you might have other goals apart from the number of books you want to read. So this is where you can write them down. Now, if you're into planning, then this reading planner will help you to organize and schedule your bookish activities, if you want to. I'm not a super planner, but Francis, though, he's the planner king. Okay, this is the menu, so you can jump to different parts of your planner through the hyperlinks. The planner is undated, which means you can reuse it every year if you want to, and pretty much just start using it anytime. And also your planner has 3 main calendar spreads: the yearly, the monthly, and the weekly. In the yearly calendar, you can plan out the year's big events and stuff. This belongs to Francis, and it looks like he's fully booked. From here, we'll go into the monthly calendars to see how that looks like. July, for example. In the monthly calendar, you can look at this little dragon. You can also set your goals and highlight any important days for the month. From here, you can also jump to your weekly spreads. And this is how a weekly spread looks for you to plan out the days. In each month, you'll also find a recap page where you can do a wrap-up of the books you've been reading, what your favorite book was, reading stats, log your monthly reads, track your daily reading, and there's extra space for you to use it for whatever you desire. Next, let's hop to the library. It holds up to 120 books, that's 12 books on each page, and 10 of these library pages. Each book is linked to its own dedicated book review page, so this kind of acts like your menu page to link you to your book reviews. And when you fill it out, it can look something like this. Now, I know this is a fantasy-themed reading journal, but your library is very inclusive. It welcomes all genres, there are no banned books here, so you can add whatever books you like and nobody will judge you for it. Yes, that means your Colleen Hoovers can come in.
Wow.
Maybe your classics. Heck, even Archie. It's your library. Do whatever you want. Now, if you want to go to a book review page, just tap on this little quill pen at the top of each book. And here's where you can do your book review. Fill in details about the book and, of course, your super important ratings. There's also space to highlight your favorite quote and a mini mood board for you to get a little artsy. Let the creative juices flow. We believe in you. And on the other half of the page, you can write your review. If the word review sounds a little intimidating, then simply write out whatever your thoughts are or whatever you're feeling. Don't worry, it's not going to be graded. Just have fun with this. It's a cool way to remember the books you've read. It's also a lot satisfying when you get to look back and see the reviews you've made. Reviews that could look like this. Or this. Or maybe this. Next, let's look at the series section. This series list holds space for up to 60 reviews, so that's 12 book series on each page and 5 of these list pages. You can write out the titles, and there's a little tracker for you to keep track of the books you've read in the series. Let's go to the review page, which looks like this. So here you add some basic details, write out the summary, and maybe go into more detail about your overall thoughts in the review part. You can also keep track of each book in the series, plus the individual ratings that you've given them. With all this put together, I think it'll help you better appreciate what you liked or didn't like across a series. But maybe more importantly, it'll help you get real with your recommendations. Is the series honestly something you want to push your buddies to read? Because we're talking hundreds and hundreds of pages and many, many dollar bills. And nobody wants to be sucked into this epically long reading session only for it to fizzle out at the end.
No! God, please, no! No!
Also, I'm pretty sure if you're that one friend in your friend group who's just awesome at book recommendations, pulling your besties into fandoms they actually want to be a part of, you'll be set for life. You'll get all the friend privileges. But as always, no pressure, just have fun with this. Alrighty, we've reached the tracker section. I'm going to try to speed through this part or else this video is going to turn into a Lord of the Rings movie.
One eternity later.
Because the trackers are pretty straightforward. New releases. So this is a list to keep track of the new releases coming up that you're dying to get your hands on. Pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the TBR. The instructions are use this TBR list and then go conquer your TBR. Now, I know just one page may not be enough space for you, so if you need more, then make copies of this page. FYI, you can also make copies of the other pages in this journal. Book haul. Yes, I know, some of us may have a problem. Me. So let's all try to manage our spending with this gorgeous book haul list. Don't go crazy in your Amazon cart because, the economy and stuff. Next, reading log. Also, I think pretty self-explanatory. Now, if only I had the library card way back, then maybe I wouldn't have so many overdue fines. Yep, so that's how this is supposed to help you. And in the landing tracker, I see Grandma still has my copy of 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, I need to go text her right after this video. Okay, so that's how this works. Then we have the DNF tracker. A moment of silence, please, for all the books we've laid to rest. By the way, those are tombstones, a tiny bit morbid, but fun fact, you can write numbers in them. And tropes. Don't we all love a good trope? So a pretty fun thing to do, well, if this is your idea of fun, is to track the tropes in the books you read. This way, you'll have a page you can reference in case you want to reread or maybe recommend a book with a certain trope like enemies to lovers, found family, or my personal favorite,
unattractive girl gets a major glow-up, finally gets the attention of the guy she's been pining for, only to realize he's a shallow vessel of a human being, so she dumps him for the cute nerd that's loved her since they were kids, and they get married, have 2 kids, and live happily ever after in a 4-bedroom New York apartment on the Upper East Side.
And in the genre tracker, you can add the genres you want to read. Maybe you have a goal in mind, then simply color them in as you read them. And your pixel tracker will start to look pretty and aesthetic. Yay! You can do the same here. Color the pixels in your format trackers. And yes, listening to books count as reading. Okay, that's not a debate. And here we have another pixel tracker you can color for your daily pages read. Now onto the challenges. There's the A to Z challenge, and the goal is to find and read 1 book for every letter of the alphabet. So for the letter A, I pick a book that starts with A, like Akatar, and paste the book in, doing this for all 26 letters to complete the challenge. Next, we have this fun bingo page with 24 prompts, and the goal of this is to get a bingo, which you can do horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. This square in the center is like your cheat code, so you don't have to get 5 prompts in a row, but you could come up with your own prompt here to give yourself a little extra challenge. Next, we have Read the Rainbow, where you want to read books with covers in the colors of the rainbow. And last I checked, there are indeed 7. Somehow, I always forget indigo. And also, doesn't it look kind of like blue? I think the hidden challenge here is really figuring out if it's blue or indigo. Tell me, is this book cover blue or indigo?
What does it mean, Francie?
Anyways, then we have Around the World. You pick out books that are set in different countries across the 7 different continents, and then you fill up the details in the boxes as you finish reading them. Or maybe you want to pick books by authors that come from these 7 continents. But wait, nobody lives in Antarctica. So instead, maybe find a book that's about it, or maybe where it makes a cameo appearance. Yeah, that's why this is a challenge, because
Antarctica.
And if you're already taking part in challenges you found on your own, good job. Here's a list for you to note them down and keep track of them. The next section is the collection. This is your space to gush about all your favorite books, authors, quotes, characters, and bookish creators. So this is how the spread looks like for your favorite books. Your favorite authors? Hey, Francis, get your butt out of here. The quotes that you don't want to forget, like maybe this one. You also have a page for the characters that you're obsessed with. It's okay though if you don't want to admit it. It can be our secret. And the bookish creators you follow. Here you can note down the books they've inspired you to read. Now we're closing in on the last section of the journal, the wrap-up. This is a place to summarize and reflect on the books you've read after a period of time, whether it's been a month, a quarter, or a year. Use this anytime it makes sense for you to reminisce. So if you're into numbers and data, then this page is perfect for you to record your reading stats. And if numbers are not your thing, well, at least this is way more fun to look at than an Excel spreadsheet. In the battle of the books, you're trying to find that one book to rule them all. Now, a popular way to use this would be to have your favorite books of each month compete until you find your book of the year. But you could also have books competing maybe from the same genre or by the same author. There are many ways you can use this, so get creative. This Hall of Fame is where you can show your love to all your reading faves across the different categories. And of course, just as we're passionate about what we love, we're also passionate about what we loathe. So enter the wall of shame. Womp womp. Now, I see a lot of booktubers tier ranking books and making these really crazy tier lists, so I had to put this page in. Crap, does this mean I've been influenced? Never mind, who cares, this is fun.
Woo! Oh yes.
With this page, maybe you want to grab a cup of tea, cozy up under a toasty blanket, and reflect on all your reading highs and lows with these prompts. Finally, if you need extra writing space, you can always make use of the note templates. You have them in blank, lined, dotted, and grid. And with that, we've come to the very last page of your journal. But the story doesn't end here. If we're talking about journaling, we can't leave out the stickers. They make your journal a fun, happy place. And whether you're 8 years old or 80, stickers are always a good time, studies have shown. Your reading journal comes with stickers that range from functional to decorative and others that kind of fall in between. The functional ones include book labels. There are 15 pre-written labels to choose from, and a blank one so you can write or type in your own label. You have them in 4 colors, and this is me putting a label on a book in the library. Ta-da! That's how you can use it. Another functional type set of stickers are the cards. They also come in 4 colors. You can use them to highlight moments or scenes in a book you want to call out and add little notes to them. For example, this is me using a card. Other functional stickers include the playlist to show off your favorite music to accompany a book. For the ratings, as an example, you can paste them here in your library. Okay, now let's talk decorative stickers. The journal comes with 20 of these stickers in 5 different styles, and I've kept them hidden from you as a mystery sticker pack, so if you haven't seen it yet, then you can unwrap that surprise for yourself. But just to give a little sneak peek, let me show you some of my personal favorites. Okay, you got main character energy girl, this little book dragon, this book fairy, this bookish quote, and this warrior princess in a step. And last but not least, we have the baby dragon emojis. When words aren't enough, you've always got these babies to help you express what you truly and deeply feel. Since you've adopted them, you're now their mama, it's time for you to meet all 24 of them. So meet Rex, Smokey, Bam Bam, Delilah, Giggles, Munchkin, Sprinkles, Bob, Cheeks, Braveheart, Larry, Steve, Elmo, Pickles, Jojo, Boo Boo, Puddles, Charlie, Omuna, Butters, Pika, Fabio, and Darnanana, and Greg. Oh, and don't forget the names. They may be cute, but they're also fire-breathing. Before I give you my best journaling tip ever, let me show you a little illustration to drive the point home. This is you. Imagine this. You love eggs.
Yummy!
Scrambled, half-boiled, omelette, poached, baked, sunny side up. One day, you end up at this egg buffet, and you're thinking to yourself, I really love eggs. So you start piling all these eggs on your plate, even though you've already had a big breakfast. And then you eat them all at one go. And then you get really sick, like this guy. Aww. Journaling can be like that. It might be the best thing you've discovered since perfectly scrambled eggs on toast. But if you start doing too much all at once, you'll get a lot overwhelmed, frustrated, and sick of it all, and then maybe never even look at it again. So here's my advice. Take it slow. You don't have to use every page or section in your reading journal right away. So step 1, pick one or a few things you want to focus on first. Step 2, try to be consistent with those things. And step 3, gradually add more stuff to journal about at your own pace. I made this journal to be comprehensive, covering everything a reader might need. But just take what you need first, at whatever stage you're at, and then you can grow into using the full journal. Because remember, this is a digital journal, which means you can reuse it again and again, time after time, so take it slow. To the very special human watching this, I hope this video inspires you to use your journal in the best way that works for you. I think for me, I'm keeping the journal not only to motivate myself to read more, but also to help me appreciate my personal journey and experience of reading books even more. You see, while we read books to kind of escape into these stories of fantasy kingdoms, majestic dragons, and magical boyfriends, in comparison, journaling provides a good counterbalance to this. Because journaling in a way is where we get to tell our story of a very real, perhaps ordinary, everyday life. But ordinary can be pretty special too. So what if your story never wins a book award? So what if it never becomes a bestseller? So what if nobody's talking about it on Book Talk? And so what if it never even gets published? It's still a story worth telling. Because one day, once you've filled the pages of your journal, you get to look back and read your own life, like it's a storybook. And if you want your story to be a 5-star read, then I hope you choose to bring your main character energy, or at least do it for the plot. Thanks for watching. Gotta go. See ya. Peace.